guys, and welcome to this video by me, Swizz Today we're going to have a garage showcase. This is a video that I'll be doing every month. I will show you through my garage and all the tanks. So let's start off with Tier 1. I do not have Tier 1, alright. Tier 2. I do not have a Tier 2. Tier 3, okay. So we have the Locust PS. I've got this tank because it's awesome. It is an awesome little Tier 3 tank to go around, just bomb it around, and pretty much be a complete scumbag at Tier 3. But it's a decent little tank. And that gun on there, what's the gun on there? It's a very good gun. 73mm, very, not 73, the 37mm. It's a very good tank, and the fact that it's really light, it goes around very fast, so it's good. The other Tier 3 tank is the Blitzen. This came free Christmas last year, so that one came free for just getting the game. This one came free with Christmas. Hopefully we're going to get something new this year. This thing is just outstanding. It's a menace at Tier 3. Them two guns fire. It has like 700 bullet. Yeah, it carries 700 rounds. It has a clip of 6, and literally you just hold the trigger down, penetrate anything at Tier 3, Tier 4, and sometimes Tier 5s, and destroy them. It is just a fantastic tank to play. It is so fun to play. But yeah, let's move on to Tier 4. So these are my Tier 4 tanks. We have the M5 Stuart. This little light tank is awesome. I'm trying to grind it to the M7. I've got the Chaffee, so after the M7 I'll probably be saying goodbye to this, but I don't know. Might keep it. I'm really enjoying playing this tank. That autoloader on this tank is unbelievable. It is so fast, so good, penetrates quite a lot of tanks. I really enjoy this tank. Moving on to one of the Tier 4 greats, and that's the M3 Lee. People like this tank. I haven't got my grips to this tank. I just don't understand that. Like, it doesn't have a turret, just fires out the hull. And what I'm doing it so I can get the M4 and the T1 Heavy. So it's a decent little tank. It is an awesome tank at Tier 4. When it goes to Tier 5, it is a bit iffy if you're going to have a good game or not. Tier 6, just forget it. You're not penning anything at Tier 6 with that gun. But apart from that, it's a decent little tank, and I don't think I will be keeping it after I've got the M4 and the T1 Heavy. Also guys, if you hear, like, if I don't sound right, it's because I'm ill. So yeah. Moving on to one of the newest Tier 4 tanks that there is in the game. These are the Swedish tanks. Got the Lago. This thing is awesome. I really enjoy that gun there. Oh, what is it? 57mm. This thing is actually a really good tank at Tier 4. Tier 5, pretty decent. Tier 6, it can do Tier 6, can kill Tier 6s, but struggles a little, but it will kill Tier 6s with no problem whatsoever, and it's really fun. And I think I might keep it. I don't know after the grind or a think about it. Moving on to the other Tier 4 Swedish tank, what is the Sav M-43. This Tier 4 tank destroyer is the only tank destroyer, I'm pretty sure, I have in my garage, and I really enjoy playing it. It's the reason why I enjoy playing it. Just look at the alpha damage. 438 alpha damage. with an 81mm pen. And that is your standard rounds. High explosive rounds, as Zaki say, well, a little bit more damage, less penetration. They try get you to use them ones, but what's the point? Zaki same damage, just a little bit more penetration, but there's AP rounds as standard. That is just the tier 4 AEP rounds as standard. That is just crazy. Such a nice little tier 4 tanks, and I think I might keep it because it's actually quite fun to derp tier 4 tanks that only have like, what's the hit points of some tier 4s? 300. So that thing can just one-shot tier 4s pretty much. That is crazy. Alright, let's move on to tier 5. Right, starting with tier 5, we've got the good old M24 Chaffee. This tank is a beast. Really love this tank. There's a 100% chance that I'm keeping this. This is really fun to bomb around there. I am so close to the T-37. Like, how close now? 2000, so I will get that T-37 today. And in the next, December's garage showcase, you should be seeing the T-37. If not, the Walker Bulldog. But this thing is awesome. Such a good fast tank. Thinking about it, equipment wise, I should really have binoculars, coated optics, and probably, I don't know what the other one would be. I wouldn't know what else you would put on there, but binoculars and coated optics. Probably a camo net, I don't know. You're not really sitting about too long in this, so I don't see the point. So, yeah. Moving on to the first. No, it's not the first. It's one of the first. It is the first premium tank that I ever brought, and it was the tank that I didn't like at all. Is the Excelsior. I thought I still don't like this tank that much. I brought it just so I can start grinding out coins. It was a cheap option to grind coins out, and I disliked it. Well, I've marked it. I got a mark in it like a few games ago. Not a few games ago, a few days ago. Must have been Saturday or something of recording this video. And it's one of these tanks that you say, oh, I hate it. But you do so well in it that it's just unbelievable. Like, each game I'm getting 5-6 kills in it. And this thing can only see tier 6. It's got a matchmaking thing. Can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's like Prential matchmaking. And it is a beast. I do. If you guys if you are struggling for money and you want a cheap premium tank, here you are. Here's a cheap premium tank that is a beast. Look at all them bullet holes on the side. Are they bullet holes or rivets? Must be bullet holes. I don't know. But it's a decent tank. I'll leave it at that. It's a decent tank. You can clear everything out with this, and it's got decent armor actually. Really nice armor. So moving to the next tier 5 premium tank. What's awesome? One that I sold, but thanks for the exception from Wargaming. If you guys don't know, if you sell a premium tank and you decide that it was a mistake, you can message them saying, I sold this premium tank by mistake, and they will, as long as you got the coins, they will give you back. And I did it, and I asked for it back, and I got the Go Under Panzer, or the Panzer IV Affenschweiger H Gaudenpanzer, or the GUP. This tank is really fun to play. Yet again, pretty much like the Locust and the Blitzen, I don't play this tank for seriousness. Play this tank for a bit of fun. That it's got good rate of fire. It's got a good gun on it, but the only thing that lets it down, it's got good mobility as well, good alpha damage as well. At that, but the thing that lets it down is the armor. Look how flat all that armor is, and you're just not going to bounce anything on that upper Glacius, apart from some tier 3s may bounce and some tier 4s may bounce, but other tier 5s are going to pen this all day long. But still, very fun tank to play, and if it ever comes on sale, do recommend it. It was on sale a few days ago, like a few weeks ago, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but one big weakness is that big cupola. Look how big that R2-D2 is on top of that turret. But yep, moving on to my first, my first Russian tank that I'm gonna show you today. That's in my garage actually, and that's the awesome, in real life, one of the game changers for Russian engineering was the T-37. This tank in real life was just the workhorse of the Russian army. This tank, this tank and World Tanks has pretty good armor layout, because in real life there's a tank down Bovington has one of these, and there's a bit like right near where my that box says equipment in the bottom corner, and like bottom, and there's like a massive gap there that you can put your hand in. That's because Russians didn't, unlike the Germans when they were making these were all welded, proper, top of the range engineers, and they were made to perfection. Russian were more, their thing was get many of the, if we can get 100 of these by Germany makes one of these, we're doing better. And as long as their quality is completely different, I can't remember what the story is that's always said at Bovington, but it's like these just like Russians they don't see quality as what the Germans see quality. For Germans, quality is something that will work and last for a very long time. Russians' quality is work, good, well, is good enough. If fixed, no, if broken, or if like one of these tracks go out or break, you need as a chisel and a hammer, and you can repair it. With the Panthers and all the Germans, it was a lot more difficult. But this tank in the game is nothing compared to what it's like in real life. This tank's not so good in World Tanks. Still good, still a nice little gun on there, but it's not the... In World War II, this tank would scare the Germans pretty much. This would demolish Panzer IIIs and Panzer IVs and so on. So this thing was a beast, but in the game it's not seen as a beast. But we can't argue with how nice that tank looks. Like, look at the slope of that. And yeah, so this tank, I feel like I have to keep it just for history's sake. It's one of them things that you have to, for me, history, you have to keep really good historic tanks. So let's move on to tier 6. So here we are at tier 6 with my favourite tank in the game, and it's my most played tank. How much games have we had in this tank up to yet? 544 battles in this tank. I've marked it. I love this tank. It's just, I don't know what it is with this tank that makes it the best. I think it's that 75mm with the mobility, and how awesome of a ridge fighter this tank is. The gun depression on that is awesome, gun elevation's awesome, and it is a beast. I have to admit, I'm definitely keeping this for a very, very long time. Like, just like, I do, if you guys want a good ridge fighter and good fast action tank, the Cromwell's for you. Just go out and buy it. Don't bother thinking about Comet. Comet's nothing compared to this Cromwell. Right, let's move on to his premium brother. So the Cromwell B, exactly same tank, is its brother. I haven't had much games in this as much as the Cromwell B, Cromwell, but that's a tank that won't won't be taken from my heart. That normal Cromwell. I love the Cromwell. This tank I got free in the Ops with the cheapened T95, and is awesome. It's just as good as the Cromwell. I can't fault it apart from the armor, but pretty much play the Cromwell like a light tank. Don't sit about too long. That's pretty much how you play the Cromwell. Sit about too long, you're going to get killed. But it's such a nice looking tank, and I do fully recommend it. And at the time of speaking, the Cromwell Knight, I'm pretty sure, is nope. The Cromwell Knight's in sale, so that would be if I had the money, that would have been a purchase. But this is pretty much the next best thing. Right, moving on. As I was talking in tier 4 about derps, we have the true king of derp. There's no tank that can derp better than the KV2. That 152mm gun on there is amazing. When they were inventing this tank in real life, they literally got a KV1 hole, made a massive. They made this turret, this gun, what couldn't fit on. In order to place that gun on any tank, they would need to make the turret bigger. So they placed it on here, and the people that drove this nicknamed the KV2 as the Dreadnought, and just like it would work very well, but the only downside was how due to its weight, it was really slow, and the T-34s would just, this would break the enemy lines. The T-34 would just go straight through the enemy lines, and this one wouldn't be able. These wouldn't be able to keep up with the push from the T-34. So that's the downside. But in this game, there ain't no downside to it apart from it's got bad armor, and you can't really hide it because of that massive turret. But the alpha damage, 1,138. But even though it says the smallest amount of damage you should do is 683, you hardly do that. You do more about 400, 500. So you don't see one-shots that often at tier 6 in this tank, but don't worry, it's still a fun tank to go around and dart tanks with. So let's move on to where pretty much my most famous tanks and my most favourite tanks are coming into, and it is the tier 7. Okay, this is my favourite German tank ever. Not this type of tank, but what this tank's modelled on, and that is the Panther. I have the Kraftpanzer and the normal Panther. They're both brilliant tanks. Good, kind of good armor. That gun is the downside to it. In real life, it wouldn't have that gun. I'm pretty sure they were fitted with this gun here. That was the gun they were originally used, but that's the gun that we use in tanks, and it's the comedy gun, as it's been nicknamed by the mighty Jingles. It can pen very well, but the alpha damage is really low on it. And there's exactly the same problem with the Kraftpanzer. Like, they both can only do about 100, is it? 100? Yeah, 169 on normal rounds. So it's pretty much you're in real life. This was a scary tank to come up against, but in World tanks, this isn't a threat to the enemy team. It's more of a nuisance to the enemy team. But the only difference between these tanks is this has got the Panther 2 turret. This has got the Panther. This is just the Panther 1. So yeah, I'll probably keep the Panther 2, but I won't keep the Panther 1. I've got the Panther 1 here. It's just the turret. That isn't. But going on to the next tank, which every single person out on the universe will know what this tank is. It's the Tiger 1. Also, in this game, it's called the Tiger 1 Hammer. This thing is amazing. I actually love this tank. The rate of fire on that gun is unbelievable. The penetration is unbelievable. The alpha damage is nice. It's not the best at tier 7, but it is nice. And this is a really fun tank to play, and does get you a lot of money. I'm pretty sure I got this in op, and then I sold it, not thinking of how good it is. I thought it was a really bad tank. Got it back from Wargaming and fell in love. Kraftpanzer, got that in the op. This thing is awesome. I do recommend it if it ever comes on sale. At the moment they're selling the Tiger 2 premium tank, and I keep on thinking about it, but I'll show you what I mean by just thinking about it. Look how much this is going to be. Almost £74 for a Tiger 2 with a bit of a paint job. Too expensive, so not thinking about it anytime soon. Wait for them to drop it. But this is a lot better tank, and I enjoy playing this tank. But let's move on to a tier where I've only got one tank in. So this is tier 8 with the mighty Chieftain T95. This has a 90mm rifled barrel, is a T95 turret, well, T95 E2 turret on top of a Chieftain hull. So it's got the Chieftain mobility, and the armor down here is literally the Chieftains, and the armor up here is the T95. This is a beast in the game. The only problem is that massive turret up there. Well, not massive turret, the massive cupola. Awesome mobility, awesome rounded turret, bounces pretty much anything off it if you get it perfect, and is an actual beast when you get to play it. I've marked it as pretty much most of my British medium tanks, because I love British mediums and I love this tank. Its brother is in the shop right now, also known as the Sentinel. This thing is awesome. Go and get both, pretty much. If this one's not on sale and the Sentinel's on sale, get the Sentinel. It's pretty much the exactly same tank, just a bit of colouring. So let's. Is there any history that I know about this tank? Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this wasn't. I don't know if they actually did this, so I would have thought they did. And how much that looks like a shark at the front. Is it me, or does it look like a shark? How the machine gun port and either side of the gunman look like the nose, and it's like the shape of it looks like a mouth. It's like, is that just me? Okay, let's just move on to tier 9. This is probably one of the best tier 9 heavy tanks that I've played so far, and that's pretty much because this is the only tier 9 tank, tier 9 heavy tank I've played. But still, everyone knows what I'm on about. This is the Conqueror. This thing will stay in my garage until the end of time, I think. That 120 mil gun on this on here is unbelievable. 10s, tier 10s, like they're nothing. It's got good armor. Use the 10 degrees gun depression and hide that cupola. It is it's just ricocheting beast. As long as they don't get the side and rear, this is gonna demolish the enemy team. And I actually really, if you want a good tier 9 tank, this is awesome. But you'll have to go on this to get the Chieftain. So if you're going to get the Chieftain, you're going to be playing this tank anyway. So, and hopefully I should be able, by the next one, you should be seeing the Chieftain in the tier 10 lot. So here we have our tier 10s, starting with my first ever tier 10 tank, and probably my favourite tier 10 tank. Just the look of it is really nice, the mobility of it really nice, the gun handling is really nice, everything about it is just outstanding, and the fact it's one of the best tanks that England's made, and that's the Centurion. And it's the Centurion Action 10. I'm pretty sure the Centurion Action 10 is still used today, but highly modified, of course. But it is still, the Centurion is still in service today, and it's been fighting since the end of World War II all the way to now. It's been highly modified, but it's still strip all the modifications out of it and everything like that, and you're left with a Centurion. And this is why I love the Centurion. It's such a fantastic tank. It's a nice looking tank. You can't say that's not nice. And it's got good mobility, good gun. That 105 mil will pen pretty much anything. you get that hull down, and then shooting at that turret, and you get pretty much use that. Is it a 10 degrees? I'm pretty sure this gets 10 degrees of gun depression. Yeah, you use that 10 degrees. They're not penning that turret, and if you can get it sort of like that, they're not penning the lower plate either. Well, try hide the lower plate, but you get it like that, and they're not gonna pen that upper plate or the turret unless they hit that cupola. But that cupola is quite a small cupola. But moving on to my first tier 10 heavy tank, that is the side-scraping monster, the FV215B. This thing is no longer in PC, but on console, it's just amazing. They decided to put the Conqueror as a Conqueror with the turret up the arse, pretty much, and it's really nice to play with. You can side scrape as long as you. So if you side scrape like this, they're not gonna pen. It's about there actually. You wanna have it so side scraping like that. They're not gonna pen you unless they hit that flat surface. That's this box there. And yeah, it's such a nice tank to play with. 120 mil can pen pretty much anything at tier 10, and I do recommend that as a tier 10 tank. So guys, that's my garage showcase. I will show you another one in a month's time, where you will just see my progress. This is pretty much how I show you. This is like my progress, what I'm doing. Like that's probably why there's less reviews, is because I'm grinding and stuff like that. So please just be patient with the reviews. Hope you enjoy this garage showcase. I will show you more in next month's episode of this, so I will see you then. Goodbye.